Welcome, everyone. We have an exciting one today. We are interviewing the Mamie Lamley. Now, she's a mother, a leader, a coach, and a friend. And she is known as one of these titles to many people. But the one lesser known is a spiritual leader and a spiritual teacher. Now, Mamie and I have been friends for some time, and we've shared some of these spiritual chats together. And she actually brought up Mandala and how she used to do mandala readings. Now, I didn't know what a mandala was, so we went through this whole spiel together, and she informed me what mandalas are. And that will be answered in the video. And she can actually read and interpret them, and I'll let her explain how she does that. But this is a lesser known modality. This is not a very common thing. So we are in for a great and special treat today. And I hope you guys enjoy this video as much as I did. And don't forget to empower your life's quest and enjoy. Have a great one. All right, today we have a special guest, Mamie Lamley, who comes all the way from Hawaii originally. And I'd like to do a mandala reading with her today. She will be presenting this. I present a couple questions. She looks at my mandala and the color, the way I did things, and then she gives me a reading based on that. So I'd like to just open the floor up to her and introduce herself and any background she'd like to give.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Brent. You know, mandala for me was a lifesaver, actually. I had just been diagnosed with cancer of the cervix, and you know, a lot of times when people hear cancer, they go into that freeze mode. And it was amazing because it was through the recovery of cancer that I actually discovered mandala and the gifts of actually color therapy. And color therapy meaning, what is that true meaning in life? And that's when I started coloring mandalas. Mainly, Brent, was to just calm myself, because what happens is, you know, when we get told stage 4 cancer, the first thing we think of, I'm gonna die. And it was fascinating because that's not what crossed my mind, Brent. The first thing that crossed my mind was, no, that can't be. I got places to go, people to see, things to do. And I had 3 kids that were counting on me, not to mention an amazing husband that was not going to take this is it for Mamie lightly. And I think the toughest thing for me, Brent, was the fact that I didn't know that I had cancer. I had come home because we were living in Thailand, and my mom was told she may have had breast cancer. So I came home to take care of mom. Look at me, the nurturing, right? Come home, take care of mom. And then we find out it was bad film. And so, yeah, it was bad film. So the speck that they saw was actually part of the film. And so we were like, thank God, because breast cancer has killed several people in my family on my mom's maternal side. And so to come home and say and hear that, that was a misdiagnosis was a big relief. And so that's when I ended up going, I think I better go take care of myself, right? And so I did. And that's when I found out in front of a stage of 300 people, doctors had called and said I needed to get to the hospital immediately. Wow. And 6 surgeries later, with almost everything, all my women's part taken out, I was now dealing with how do I go and where do I go from there. And there's a lot of anger that comes with this, because it's like, why me? Yeah. And so in that realm, I needed to find something that really calmed me down. And so that's when mandalas became real important to me. And then what I found out was mandalas actually became the window to someone's soul and their soul purpose. And for me, it was a big eye-opener And so what I ended up doing was I started to have my friends color, and then I made a mandala meditation, which I know you went through,
I did.
Brent, and I'd like to know what were you feeling and thinking when you were going through the meditation? You got a beautiful mandala here.
Yeah, no, I loved the mandala meditation. It was very simple. It was a very visual meditation. As you were telling me what to do, going through the meadow, through the woods, to the waterfall, all these things, I tried to keep my mind as clear and open as possible. And then it's like when I showed up in the place and you were like, the question's there, it was like, and then like the question just formed. And it's funny because I really tried to keep a neutral head going into it, not saying, oh, I need to like get this question answered about this part of my life, or this question answered about this part of my life. That just kind of came. And I'm like super excited to hear the answers, because they're kind of things that I've been tinkering with for a long time, but they're just kind of pushed to the back burner, I guess we can say, because I have so many things on my plate right now and I'm excited about all of them. So these things just kind of sit around, and I guess it's time for them to get them answered, right?
Yeah.
So I'm really curious, like, what is a mandala? Like, in its most general sense, what is it?
Mandalas today are being used by adults for like the adult coloring book. It allows people to take time to check out. And what mandalas could also mean, if you take a look at it, it's the basic mandala is from the Sanskrit. And when you take a look at the mandalas in Asian countries, or even as far as Nepal, they're used for storytelling. They're used for insight into what's coming. And mandalas, before I actually got involved with mandalas, the mandalas that I was accustomed to was the sand mandalas, where they would actually come together and create a mandala out of sand. And it was usually during a religious ceremony, or in my experience, it was in a chanting ceremony. And so I got to witness, imagine this, 400 monks chanting at the same time, while the mandala artist was painting with sand.
Wow.
And 400 monks all chanting something I couldn't even understand, but it resonated right here in my heart.
Yeah, and I bet that was a powerful experience.
Oh my goodness, it was powerful to what I call the essence of our soul. And it was, for me, so touching that it brought tears of overwhelm to me. And then just so happened, we were there for a ceremony in Thailand, because we were actually saying goodbye to Thailand. My family and I were returning home, right, to go take care of my mom. And we had the honor of being celebrated in a temple there, where they did do some chanting. And we were able to meet with the abbot and go through that ceremony, and to see and feel that and watch my children. So my children were as young as 4, 6, and 8.
Wow.
And they were touched by the chanting themselves. So there they were in meditation, and they too had tears coming to their eyes. So I know it was a very special moment for us in the midst of the chanting and then witnessing what was happening. And so for me, the mandala has become, I call it the window to your soul. And when you are open to it, the colors that you use and the patterns that you select tell a story. It tells a story.
Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah, I loved my time in Thailand. I spent a full week there. We went everywhere. We went to every temple. We went to Laying Buddha. We went to the Golden Palace. We went to all of them.
Wow.
And every single one of those was a uniquely spiritual experience where we got to sit and we got to do a meditation. It was pretty much all about the meditations when we went. But I can't even imagine what it was like with the experience that you had.
Yeah.
I bet that was just amazing.
It's a once in a lifetime event.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
So peaceful.
So I just want to get this right. So when we're coloring the mandalas, we are actually just transferring the energy that's inside of us onto the paper with the colors, the stencils, all of that.
Yeah. And the patterns. So what I'm going to be doing is I've already taken a look at your mandala. Okay.
Awesome.
And I know you told me, stop. I want to record this. And so what I'm going to do is I did some grounding exercises for myself so that I could literally just be open to what is on this paper. And so what I'm going to share with you is just what is coming to me. And sometimes I say that it's coming from that higher source. And I know you believe in that, and it comes from spirit. And when I first saw your mandala, I think I did tell you, wow, it's beautiful. For me, it's a balance. There's a lot of circles in your mandala.
Thank you. Here, okay. Let me pull it up on screen.
So why don't we go ahead and pull it up on the screen so then they know exactly what I'm talking about. And the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put the chat up so I can see what your questions are, just in case it's on another screen. So if you see me looking up, Brent, it's because I'm looking at what's in the chat box for me, okay, hon?
Not a problem.
So let me give you the generic feeling that I get from this is balance. You're looking for balance in your life. The balancing of energy externally and the balance of energy internally. And when I look at your mandala, I'm going to read it from the inside out. You okay with that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, and
so
you know what's...
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's funny. When I was going through this, I kind of did almost like a mirror effect. So I'm curious if that's the way, is that what you're reading, that I did, all my leaves are dark green on one side and then light green on the other. And then as it goes, it flip-flops on each side. So that's what that means. I'm looking for balance.
Yeah. And the balance, the interesting thing is that not only have you balanced it with color, Brent, you actually symmetrically colored everything in balance. Yes?
Yes, absolutely.
So for me, the feeling that I'm getting is that you are striving for the balance from the external, which is the physical, and the internal, which is the spirit. Okay? And if we take a look at the center where the yellow is, Brent, okay? That is the energy level that resonates within your, I say within your soul, within that spirit inside of you, where there is energy that permeates from center of you. And with the color yellow, it's about wisdom and intellect. Okay? It's about the ability for you to balance your mental with your physical activity and energy. And when we look at you, for me, Brent, I see you as a powerhouse inside. And it's like, it's waiting to just explode. And so right now you're self-contained. I don't know if that makes sense, but there is and okay, forgive me because this may be the wrong word, but it's a rage, not a negative rage, but the rage to be seen and to be heard. That is what I'm picking up from the center of your mandala. With the yellow, it's about the power of ideas. The power of ideas that sometimes is right there, and yet it's as if people are not understanding who you are. And you want to share. Thank you. You want to share, but at the same time, you can be very overpowering.
Oh, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, okay. There's been a lot of times where, I could run circles around my friends, even, thinking back as a kid when my friends were like, oh, I'm tired and done. I'm like, I need to burn a few more hours of energy before I'm truly like cashed out and ready to relax. And it's the same way in a lot of different aspects of my life. Mm-hmm. And it's funny that you actually mentioned balance, because even if as I'm getting my course ready and I'm doing these interviews, I didn't balance everything right. I have 5 to 7 interviews lined up, ready to go, and I'm still working on my course. Yeah. And it's like I just push myself a little too far, and then I'll have days where I'm just like, okay, like time to calm down, but I can't. Yeah. Because I've already committed to so many things. So the balance definitely resonates. The energy, the knowledge, the thirst for knowledge. I'm reading 5 books right now. I definitely wholeheartedly feel that statement about the yellow on the inside.
Well, that's you in what I see in that center. The other thing too that yellow represents, Brent, is your quest for power of ideas from the spiritual realm, and that you are on a journey of spiritual awakening, even psychic development. That's what it means to me there. Okay. It also gives me an idea that you are searching or in search of clarity. You're in search of awareness, all relating to yellow. Okay. And what I want you to know is this: when you use yellow and chakras, that is the internal or intuitive center of your being.
Yeah, that's related to the solar plexus, which, yes, as I understand in my human design, which I'll do in a video later, mm-hmm, is my strongest suit. My solar plexus is my strongest power. Yeah. I didn't, it's funny. Center. When I did that, I didn't even recognize that. And I feel like I should have. But I did all the rings. If you notice, all the rims are in gold. I loved that look. And the very center of the mandala was the last thing that I colored. The very last thing. And I was like, you know what? I'll pop some gold in there.
Oh, how interesting. And isn't it amazing that was the last thing? And I said, I'm going to go from the inside out.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.